Hey, vegan freaks, it's Monday, December 5th, and welcome to our 19th podcast.
When I walk into the store, they're selling chickens by the score. They eat that birds just ain't for me. And I don't eat roast beef or fish, and pork and pig is not my dish. Go ahead and let your chickens free. Chicken orders for Purdue, wants to keep it those chickens to you. I don't take orders from Colonel Sanders to you. And I don't want to eat no hens, not even every now and then. I just want to let all the little chickens be.
Hey freaks, welcome to Vegan Freak Radio. Podcasting without pants from home, here's Bob and Jenna.
Hey out there everybody, welcome to another edition of Vegan Freak Radio.
Yep, and tonight it's just us.
Just us. We have no guests, no email. We have email. No guests, no voicemail. Just us.
Yep.
Just lovely old us.
Yep.
You're stuck with us.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you like us. Yeah. Yeah. So we got a couple things going on. This shouldn't be a crazy long show tonight. We've got we've got our normal shout outs and announcements. Then we're going to talk about Eric Marcus and what has happened with his podcast. Mm-hmm. We're going to move into a segment on biodynamic farming that was brought to our attention by Lee over at Good Baker. And then we're going to talk... Oh, actually, I don't know if we're going to do this in this order, because Jenna wanted to talk about something that had to do with shelters and things. But we'll get there probably before the biodynamic. We're going to have a little music segment for you, as usual. And this one I really like. It's good fun. And then we're going to do emails, and we'll just call it quits.
Yeah.
So it'll be a quick show.
Yeah. So which is good, because next week we have lots of stuff going on. Yeah,
we do have a lot of stuff going on next week. Like what?
We're going to have Issa Moskowitz.
Oh, yeah. Issa's going to be on the show finally. She saw fit to deem us with her royal presence. The Queen of Punk is going to come be on our show.
Yeah, so we'll have a little interview with her.
We've been trying to get her on for a long time. And
she's a busy woman.
She is a busy woman indeed. But come on. It's us.
Yeah, and we're also going to have a new segment on from Nell.
From Nell, yes. Nell is one of our listeners who had this idea that she would do reviews of various products, have people over, and they would sample some product and various vegan products and talk about which ones they like better and things like that. Nell is going to be on next week with her segment reviewing different vegan chocolates.
Yeah, so she got a really wide assortment, and we need to thank Vegan Essentials for sending along a few extras when she ordered her chocolates. And so give us a review on what they think of vegan chocolate.
Absolutely, and so it was cool. She had some people over. She invited a bunch of people over, but apparently it had snowed, or there was the fear of snow where she lived, and then people kind of, not as many people came as she had hoped, but nevertheless, she's going to do a segment for us, and she's going to send us some chocolate too.
Sweet.
So we get to review it too.
Sweet.
And but this is a good thing. We're going to have her on repeatedly on the show with this review segment to review products, because it's something that a lot of you had asked for out there, but that we don't really have the time to do, the two of us. Mm-hmm. It's hard enough to get this thing together every week. Forget about going out and trying to find new vegan food in the middle of rural America.
Yeah. So it's a lot easier. And plus, Nell has a lot of friends that she can invite over and make a party out of it.
Absolutely. And Nell, she's cool, and she's been a real big supporter of our show. She's brought a lot of people to our forums.
Yes.
Nell is a relatively new vegan, and so she's probably in a good place for a lot of you, in terms of understanding where this stuff's coming from.
Definitely. So we need to thank Nell for that.
Absolutely. And she set up a blog that we'll link to where she started to post some pictures of all the different chocolate she's reviewing, and we'll get that link up in the podcast notes if Jenna doesn't forget.
Because I've never done that before.
Oh, no, never.
I've never screwed up the links before.
You're the queen of vegblog.com.
I know.
You always put vegblog.com when
I know. I'm so sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, poor Ryan.
I know. And the one time I did it just because it just came up because I typed it in wrong once and then it kept coming up again. So my apologies. Mm-hmm. Go to vegblog.org.
O-R-G, org, vegblog.org. Okay. Always a good source of information and news. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we should move into our shout-outs, eh?
Yes.
Okay.
First one from Ian.
In Australia.
Yeah, he has a bakery called Fruition Bakery.
Yeah, he's got a website, it's all pictures, but the bread on looks amazing.
I know, it looks
I was looking at it, I was
like, good.
But
artisan breads, yeah.
Yeah, so he'd written to us and said that he'd heard some things on the podcast that helped kind of remind him why he was vegan, and he's really appreciative of that. And we want to thank him for his generous donation to the show, because he's helping us out with some of the bandwidth and other production costs on the show by donating money to us. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool to hear from him. He sent us the kind of email that makes me always feel good about doing this show.
Definitely, yeah.
It's like, I would say that podcasting is a thankless job, but that's not true because we get so many nice emails from people out there, and they mean so much to us that it isn't a thankless job. In fact, my regular job is a thankless job.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean the problem I have right now is that my real job is getting in the way of my hobbies.
Yes, it is. Well, gotta make money somehow.
Yeah, I know. Fucking capitalism.
Okay, and we got a couple of anonymous donations too this week.
We want to thank folks for those. People who prefer to remain anonymous, and that's cool by us.
Yep. So thank you for those.
Yeah, the donations help us a lot. They help keep us help keep all the archives up, because if the bandwidth gets too bad, we have to take the archives down. But they help us pay for the bandwidth, keep the archives up, and they help us keep the new shows coming. And we keep getting more and more subscribers. So every month, every day, in fact, every show, we are growing, and we're really pleased for that because we think it helps get the vegan word out there.
Yeah.
We also want to give a shout out to two folks, Agro and Toast.
Yeah. So we have special request for a shout out there.
That's right. Hey, Agro. Hey, Toast. Hear you guys like the podcast.
Yeah. Stay vegan and freaky.
That's right.
What we gotta say.
We're all about vegan and freaky. What else we got?
What else do we have? Oh, this new thing on our forum.
Oh, yeah. So
we have a few people to thank because we're having a special little end of the year forum awards.
we're having a couple little prizes, different kinds of forum awards. We're trying to make this an annual thing, and we've asked a couple of folks to donate small prizes for us to give away on our forums, because the forums are a really good community so far. And if you haven't been to our forums, you should really come over and check them out. What we're going to do is we're giving away a couple copies of our book. We have a copy of Issa's book we're giving away, The Vegan with a Vengeance. We've got some chocolate from Cosmos that is going to be one of the prizes. What else?
We got some Liz Lovely cookies.
Oh, yeah. They're sending us one each of all of the varieties.
Yes, and they have some new ones on the way, by the way.
Oh, I don't know. Are we
Special.
supposed to talk about that?
I don't know.
Better be quiet.
Shh, okay, I didn't say that.
Food Fight's giving us a tote bag. Good Baker Baking Mixes are supplying a couple of mixes as giveaways. And we want to also thank Good Baker for sending us some mix, because we were kind of gushing about how much we liked their mix on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
They sent us more. It was brilliant.
We're so into the waffles, especially because we're lazy.
We want to thank them for that. We'll take product donations in place of cash if you prefer that.
Sure,
and keep us flush in vegan goods. So anyway, they're going to donate a couple mixes to give away to the different forum members. We're going to have a bunch of different awards. And Bob Pyle is a vegetarian musician. He also sent us one of his CDs, and we're going to give away the promo, the kind of review copy he sent us. And next week we'll have some of his music on the show.
Cool.
So yeah, that's kind of stuff we have going now. And the basic gist is we have a couple categories on the forums. We're looking to just kind of make a fun little thing. If you haven't been to the forums yet, it isn't too late to get over there and register. We're going to give a random prize to one of the newer people, right? Or to anyone. We're just going to draw.
Just random.
We're just going to draw from random. So even if you haven't been there long, you still have a chance of winning something. We have about 300 people on the forums, so the odds are 1 in 300 probably. But come on over.
Sure.
And we're going to do this, and we really want to thank our sponsors for their generosity in this, because it helps us to kind of, it helps. It's nice to have a little giveaway.
Definitely.
So there are all kinds of funny categories. Just come over to the forums and see. And also, if you sign up for the forums, there are special categories that only members can see.
Ah, right.
I'm going to shut up about the forums now, because Jenna's throwing me dirty looks. Shut up about the goddamn forums. Forums.
I know, we've gone on long enough.
All right.
We have vegan things to talk about.
Our forums are vegan.
I know.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, so one other thing we need to get to today that I want to talk about is Eric Marcus's podcast.
Ah, yes. If you subscribe to Eric Marcus's podcast via iTunes, you need to go to his webpage at vegan.com, because you're not going to be getting the updated sites.
Right. His podcast feed has been hijacked. It's really horrible.
Yeah.
But this points to some of the weaknesses that exist in iTunes, because there's not really any way to kind of log into iTunes and change your feed like there are in the other directories. So Eric's podcast feed got hijacked, and as a result, he lost a lot of his audience. So if you have a feed to his podcast and you're not getting updates, the reason is because that feed got hijacked. So you should go out and update your feed and make sure you're getting his podcast. And it's a shame that this has happened to him. I mean, I think he's one of the seminal, he's the first vegan podcaster.
First one, yeah.
He always has good stuff every week. And if you don't subscribe to his podcast, how are you going to get the Eric Marcus dry and witty humor?
I know. So, and he does have some new ones out. So you need to go make sure you're getting them.
He does indeed. So make sure you're back on track with Eric Marcus's podcast. And we just want to, kind of lend our support to Eric and say that we feel really bad about what's happened to him.
Yeah, it's just really wrong.
It's not cool at all. I mean, it really sucks, actually. We're gonna have Eric Marcus on the show at some point too, because he's interested in getting his book, trying to get more sales of his book done, and we're interested in that too. So
Yeah.
in his book and
His
our
book,
book,
yeah.
we work all together.
Of course.
So, anyway, that's kind of the shout outs. Yeah. Any other shout outs I'm missing?
That's it.
There's nothing else?
No,
You sure?
not that I know of.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Are you mad at me this week?
No, I'm not.
I'll be quiet.
No. It's fine.
You
I'm
can-
not mad.
You're gonna make me pout.
No.
It's not pretty to watch me cry.
But anyway, we should get on topic.
So get on topic.
Okay.
Well, what the hell are you waiting for?
Biodynamic farming.
So
it's
do
next
it.
on our list.
Go ahead.
All right. It's
Go
really
ahead.
fucked
Yeah,
up.
you know everything. Go ahead.
I don't. Will you stop?
I'm just kidding with you. Go ahead.
Anyway, since you know everything about everything, why don't you go ahead?
No.
Biodynamic farming is fucked up.
Deeply.
Anyway, I always thought it was just kind of like another way of organic farming, and it is kind of organic farming.
I mean, it sounds groovy enough.
I know, and I've seen like biodynamic wines before and stuff.
Really?
But I've heard of them before, yeah.
Funky.
But it's basically like we looked up information on it, and it's like organic farming, but with spiritualism and, you know, astrology and all kinds of weird stuff.
There's a lot of weird non-vegan juju going on in biodynamic farming.
Yeah.
And I got to say, Lee at Good Baker is the one who kind of turned me on to some of this stuff. I mean, he sent me a couple articles, and I started reading them, and I was like, holy shit, really? This is weird. Mm-hmm. You know? It's definitely not vegan.
No, I mean, a lot of organic farming uses manure,
Manure.
which is normal. And, but they, like, have these special juju thingies that they do. They, like, they have, like, cow horns that they take and they pack with stuff, like manure and some other kind of silica, or no, not silica, quartz or something. And they, like, bury it.
And is this an offering to the manure cow horn god that will help your crops grow
I
better?
have no idea why they do that. Why they put it in a cow horn is beyond me.
One of the things I also read is they use internal organs.
They do.
And they use other kinds of various herbs and other preparations that they believe are potentiated by the chemicals that are present in the various organs.
Yeah, they have this list of like 6 or 7 herbs that are supposedly good for the soil. And I mean, the whole general idea of biodynamic farming is good because basically they do it because they think the soil is, you know, we've messed up the soil, we've messed up our relationship with the earth, and we need to restore the health of the soil and therefore the health of our crops. And that makes sense by me. But they do it in really weird ways.
It's like farming for serial killers.
It really is. And they like pack the herbs in like cow intestines and bury them in the soil.
Now you see that just kind of has a Hannibal Lecter flair to it to me. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I grew these crops with you know with a liver or something. It's really fucked up.
It is
It's
weird.
so strange to me, but it's something like Hannibal Lecter would do. You know,
I know.
it's really weird.
Just don't get it. But anyway, and they do planting and other things based on astrology charts and when, you know, Venus is in some certain place. And
Based on astrology charts.
yeah. So,
That's kind of wacky.
you know.
Maybe that's how we should do our podcast. I mean, maybe we should consult the charts first before we sit down and do our podcast.
Sure.
Maybe we should do that because, you know, it's be new age and spiritual and really fucking cool.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we'd have better, I don't know.
I don't know. We could have somebody come in and do our astrology chart readings.
I'm sure someone out there can do it.
Mm-hmm.
There are programs on the computer to do it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. I once got into an argument with somebody who really believes in that zodiac stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if you look at it for fun. But
I think it's fun, yeah.
yeah, I have no problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's dark-sided.
Yes, you would think
I
that.
think it's dark-sided.
Definitely.
Sorry. But no, the thing is, I had someone who was really into that stuff, and she was telling me all about it. And I said, you're telling me that, you know, where you're born and like when you're born and all this other stuff can have some influence on you? How does it work? Like, what is the mechanism that explains how this works? And she couldn't tell me. So I don't know. I'm sure someone's ready to tell me that there's like a gravity and all this other stuff out there, but I'm highly skeptical.
I don't know. No clue.
I don't either. Just like biodynamic farming, I'm highly skeptical of the entire idea. You know,
Yeah.
I can't see how like a single cow liver could have any effect on an entire field.
I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, a lot of the sites didn't mention the organs. The British sites seem to be the worst. I don't know why. But a lot of guys looked at some Australian and American sites, and they had mentioned the cow horns, but not the internal organs.
That's really weird. I don't know. I mean, whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Not vegan.
Definitely not vegan. We should have a not vegan sound.
Yeah, we should.
I should make one not vegan.
We could just, press a button.
Not vegan. It's not vegan. It's nuts. So, but I had no idea. I mean, organic farming itself is in some ways not vegan too. Because there's
manure.
There's manure, and then there's some of them use like different kinds of blood and
Fish.
Bone meal and that kind of stuff,
yeah.
right? So that's no fun.
No, but there is veganic farming.
Yeah, there is indeed.
It's hard to find, but you can find it.
You can. So, something to think about. So yeah, if anyone knows the DL on biodynamic farming, let us know.
Yeah.
The 411. All the info. Yo. Yeah, but if you know the info, let us know, because I feel like this is just like kind of freaky.
It is.
I mean, to me, it's like, really weird. Well, whatever. Let's move on.
Right.
You want to talk about something?
Well, yeah, just briefly, because I know we've mentioned this before on the podcast, and I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to repeat myself too much.
I mean, look, we're vegans, right? How much material do we have?
I know. Oh, not a ton, I guess. But anyway, yeah, so I wanted to talk about my grandmother because she is pretty cool in that she volunteers at a shelter, at an animal shelter, and she like does the whole. They go to the mall and they wrap Christmas presents for donations, and she helps sell things to raise money, and she has a little sheltie, and she goes and takes it to nursing homes and to see the patients and everything.
That's sweet.
So yeah, it is, and she's really into it, and it's really cool. So she sends me their newsletters, and they're trying to raise money for a new no-kill shelter. Which is excellent. And they rescue dogs and cats, and they take them and they give them foster homes and everything.
Seems good so far.
Yeah, I know. So in the newsletter's looking through, and they have like even this great little statement. My grandmother sent me a T-shirt last year. It's got like that quote by Gandhi on it about.
I
forget
remember
the
that.
exact quote.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a good quote.
Something like the moral progress of a nation could be judged by how it treats its animals. That one.
Yep, that one. Yeah. So it's really cool. And then they have a whole statement. Their mission statement is, they want to promote animal rights, besides just the spay your dog and cat kind of thing.
So they actually talk about animal rights in their mission statement.
They mention it says animal rights.
Wow.
Not just like dog and cat, but animal.
And not animal welfare, right? They actually talk about rights. That's really strange because you don't often hear rights talk coming out of conventional organizations like that.
No, you don't.
So that's cool.
Yeah, and they're really into it. They're really the dogs are definitely family, all these people who work for the organization. So I was looking on the back, and the sponsors was this one place called Bungy's Meats.
Bungy's Meats?
It's a butcher. And there's another one that's a deli.
So they're for selective animal rights.
Yeah, apparently. And I just never, it always astounds me when I see things like that, because I just don't get it. These people who love their pets and know that they have personalities and know that they need to be treated well don't think the same about farm animals just because they're in this separate category. And, like I could never see my grandmother being vegan or even vegetarian. I mean, it just wouldn't even enter her orbit, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know how we get the orbits to cross some more.
Yeah, that's a really good question. How do we get it into her orbit, One of the books I read also recently talks about how animals, how companion animals aren't really even animals to humans. I mean, they're animals in the sense that they aren't human, right? But they're somewhere between what we consider to be animals and somewhere between human, because they have kind of some of the status of humans in that they are welcome into our home, they sleep in our bed, all this other stuff, but they also have some of the status of animals and that they're property and all of that. So it's a difficult place that culturally that companion animals are in, but it's certainly a different place than meat animals are in. And so understanding that is part of understanding how our culture wraps its head around that. The question is, how do we fracture that? Like, how do we get beyond that? How do we break that so that we have something a little different going on?
Very good question.
And this is what Carol Adams brings up, too. I feel like I'm in class all of a sudden. I'm citing all these authors and talking like, I'm a fucking professor.
You are a fucking professor.
This is true. So this is kind of her point. How do you turn a something into a someone? How do you create those connections again? I mean, how do you make that animal an individual in the eyes of all the people that are out there kind of consuming animals? That's really tough.
It really is. I mean, because people, I don't know. I never understand how people can like work in slaughterhouses and work in factory farms and they
I don't
just
either.
can treat them like that. I just don't get it.
You know, I don't get how vivisectors do their job. How do you go to work every day, get up in the morning, have your coffee, get in your smart little car and drive to your office and then cut open the brains of rats
No clue.
or implant electrodes in the brains of a cat? I mean, how the hell do you do that every day?
I don't know.
How do you get up in the morning and go to a slaughterhouse? I mean, some of that comes through only having no other option.
Right.
I mean, you know, we have to recognize that there's this whole thing going on out there that for some people it's the only choice.
I know. And it's really sad that it has to be because there's a huge turnover rate at slaughterhouses.
Absolutely.
And I can see why.
And a massive amount of employment of undocumented workers as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very problematic dynamic. So I don't know. It's tough. I mean, how do you get past the people who are eating ham sandwiches, you know, as a fundraiser for the Humane Society?
Right. Yeah. Peter Singer wrote that in his book too.
Yeah.
So
But what's humane about that?
I know.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I know. I don't get it.
I don't either. But, you know, cats and dogs have all the luck, huh?
They do. They do.
So, yeah, I don't know. I get really discouraged sometimes with the state of kind of the animal welfare, animal rights movement, you know?
I know. I mean, we are making progress, but at the same time, you know, even more animals, billions of animals were killed this year than were last year. So,
Well, I think that's one of the downsides, in my mind, of always arguing for animal welfare. I mean, you look at most of the mainstream organizations, they're always arguing for welfareist ends. But what does it do? It doesn't reduce the number of animals that are killed. It might make life a little better for a couple animals, but more often than not, those welfare stances, I don't know what they do. I mean, I feel like they don't do much.
makes people feel even better about eating meat.
Well, I think that's partially why we have this increase in consumption of meat, is that everybody thinks, well, my meat's being treated better. I mean, I know before I was a vegetarian, I used to think that way.
I know. I mean, even when we were vegetarian, when we wanted eggs, we wanted the free-range eggs because all the chickens were being treated better, right?
That's right. That was our assumption.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we were pretty thoughtful consumers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people out there are. I think that welfare just makes people feel better about it, and I don't think it really serves the interests of abolition. In fact, I think welfare and abolition are really, I think they're opposed in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't see how, you know, more humane slavery is anything less than slavery.
Yeah.
And this is also the subject of a recent blog entry where I kind of go after John Mackey, the CEO of Whole Foods. Someone in the comments called it Whole Paycheck. But yeah, anyway, Whole Foods, I go after him for that because, you know, he makes this argument that, well, you know, we were raising money for animal welfare causes, and my argument is you're selling meat. Of course you're going to raise money for animal welfare causes because maybe people feel better about buying your damn meat.
And it just happens to be more expensive. You can make more profit off of it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that that's what welfarism does. I think it creates this false sense that everything's fine and we don't have to worry.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well, let's move into the music now.
Cool.
All right, we got a song coming up. This one's, I think, one Drew sent me a while ago. Drew sent me a whole bunch of songs, and this is one of his. And this has been a favorite in our car. We've had this on. We have a little AM punk mix on CD, and this is on part of that mix. This is called Anarcho Pie, and it's by the Oi Polloi. The album is In Defense of Our Earth.
Pastry! Mixed beans! Red beans! Courgettes! Walnuts! Cashews! Lemons! Mushrooms! Let's make it tasty and not go by! Let's make it food for you and I! Let's make it tasty and not go by! Let's make it food for you and I!
Take 8 ounces of pastry and leave a little bit aside, roll out 2 more portions, each a quarter-inch thick. Then use one of these to carefully line the bottom of your chosen pie dish.
Let's make it tasty and not go by! Let's make it food for you and I! Let's make it tasty and not go by! Let's make it food for you and I!
Put the ingredients for the pie filling separately, and then place it inside the pie dish on top of the pastry base. Wetting the top of the edge of the pastry base, and fix the pastry cover to your natural pie.
Let's make it tasty and not go by! Let's make it food for you and I! Let's make it tasty and not go by! Let's make it food for you and I!
Now comes the important bit. Using the spare bits of pastry, decorate the top of the pie with a pastry anarchy sign, symbolizing our never-ending resistance to the omnicidal system that perverts our lives. for between 30 and 35 minutes at approximately 400 degrees Fahrenheit, it should be ready for serving. By this time, it should have developed a good crust!
Das ist frei! Das ist frei! Das ist singen hier niemand! Hey, schon her! Das war doch mal you got it! I do my phone, no! Ja, Nein! Can it be the sneaker food game? Oh, it's the best job in life. Give them, right, man. And I've got my rules, kid. Right. Oh, das ist das ist. Etc.
A good crust. I love when at the beginning of the song when he shouts out all the the names of the things in the anarcho pie.
I bet you never thought you'd hear courgettes
No.
screamed at the top of someone's lungs, or mushrooms.
Cashews.
I love that song.
I do too.
It's great.
So much fun.
All right, so now we're going to move into some emails. We got a whole bunch. We should begin with the one, though. This is going to double as the If You're Not Yet Vegan.
Yes, but of course we have to first play our little email ditty.
Oh, good thing. I always forget. Sometimes I think I forget in post-production to put the ending email ditty in.
Oh, well,
Or no, it's always voicemail. I forget to put the
Voicemail
ending
one.
voicemail ditty in. Well, anyway, here is our email theme.
You've got mail.
Okay, let's see here. Cialis? No, don't need that. Bigger bust size? No. Free iPod? Oh, it might do that. Oh, are you pleasing your woman? Well, you better ask her. Oh, well, what's this? Vegan freak email? Vegan freak email. Yes.
Okay, so our first email this week is what?
Well, this first email, which I didn't pronounce, but I forget who sent it. I think someone named Mark. Mark is going to double as our "If You're Not Vegan Yet" segment.
Mm-hmm.
And he asks about wool and how that fits into being vegan.
It definitely does.
Into being vegan? It does fit in?
Well, I mean, you got to think about it.
Oh, okay.
You got to consider wool.
Well, of course, yes.
Okay.
Like, wool, it's not vegan.
Honey is, though.
Don't start.
I'm just kidding. Honey is not vegan.
Anyway.
But don't you know that those bees, they really want it?
They're sexually frustrated,
They're
right?
sexually frustrated bees. People really love that segment by
They
Mike.
did.
Yeah. They said we were humorless in our response.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't think I was in the mood to talk about honey again. That's all.
Honey. Okay, anyway.
But we're going to talk about wool this week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely problematic.
It is.
It's really sad, actually. It's really disgusting. One of the most disgusting pictures I've ever seen is when they do the muesling. Is that what it's called? Anyway, in the past, they used to just sort of collect all the wool, when the sheep's like molt and, when it gets warm. And they didn't have to even shear them. Like, this is a long, long time ago.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, it was according to this fact sheet.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, this fact sheet comes from PETA, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But that, they started shearing the sheep, and now they raise sheep to have like these merino sheep, and most of this is done in Australia.
Right.
They raise them and they have all these wrinkly skin, and so they have more wool per sheep. And they get more diseases, and they get like maggots that go in there.
There's a biting fly, right?
Yeah. And so to prevent this infection, what they do is they strip off pieces of skin around their backsides. And they don't give anesthetic, and they literally rip off the skin with the wool attached.
Like, what do you mean backside? Like where?
Like
On the
what
top
does
or
it say?
near the butthole?
Near their butthole.
Oh my God. So could you imagine every time you go to sit down and take a crap if you had no skin on your butt?
Yeah, and the pictures are just gross because they leave these bloody strips behind.
That's disgusting.
It's so disgusting. I mean, they don't like bother treating them. They just I don't even know what this does, but it's just gross.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. Apparently, I don't know. I to me that seems non-vegan.
Yeah. Oh, that's just the start of it.
Of course, but then they kill the animals, right? They kill the sheep.
But not only that, but they castrate them, and they do it by just basically tying a rubber band around them, wait for them to fall off.
They put a rubber band around the scrotum, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is apparently quite painful.
Well, it shrivels up and the nuts just fall right off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned about that in college.
Yeah, that's gross.
I was an ag sci major, for those of you that don't know.
So that, and they do the typical like trimming things they should be trimming, and all without anesthetic. And so, of course, you always hear like people think that leather is a byproduct of meat, and it's kind of like the other way around. Well, wool and lamb meat definitely go together, but it's all for wool production is where you get all the lamb meat. You wouldn't have as much lamb meat if you didn't have so much wool production, because after all of it, most of the sheep in Australia, are just useless, and a lot of them die because they got sheared too soon, and then they freeze. Or they leave their coats on too long, and they die of heat exhaustion.
Man.
So it's just really horrible. And then anyway, they get shipped off to Africa in the Middle East
for food.
For food,
yeah.
And a lot of them die en route.
They're packed usually into boats, right? And they're like completely packed in.
Yeah, completely packed in. A lot of them die because of exposure and because they're so tightly packed in, and they don't get food and water.
Of course not.
And then they're slaughtered when they get to their destination.
So that's what wool's doing for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the side effects of the production of wool. One of the things about production agriculture that you always need to keep in mind is that the idea is to let nothing go to waste, right? To turn everything that could be a waste product into profit. Thus, we have, for example, buffalo wings, right? I mean, these were a throwaway product. These were the things that nobody wanted to eat. They were the shittiest parts of the chickens way back when. And then some grand entrepreneur somewhere had the great idea of turning these things into something desirable. So now people buy chicken wings, when these little tiny chicken wings, when in fact in the past they were kind of junk. So the idea is to make every bit of it as profitable as possible, to turn it into some way of getting profit in return for all these extra things that you wouldn't normally think of as being central to the very process itself. But here is an example of that, where you've got sheep being sent off to the Middle East, being sent off to Africa for consumption as a side effect of wool. I mean, this is like eggs and dairy, and the way in which dairy is related to veal. This is why I think if you're interested in animal rights, vegetarianism is not enough.
Yep, definitely not. Because, I mean, everything's killed at the end. Everything's killed before they should be. Their lifespans are just way shorter.
It's sad. It's sad that we live in a world like that, I feel.
Yeah, it is sad.
So anyway, is wool vegan?
No. But a lot of people have the question too of like, so you have all these wool sweaters, what do you do with them? I mean, I still have a few left because it's just, it's really cold up here, and to replace all of them is just going to take me a while. So that's what a lot of people do. They wear them till they wear out, and then they buy a replacement that's not wool.
That's certainly, everybody's a little different, right?
Yeah, and some people just want to get rid of it all right away and can't stand wearing it anymore. And I can see that definitely.
I can too. Well, what else we got?
More emails.
More email.
You want me to read one?
Do it.
Okay. This one that comes about sort of a taboo, touchy subject.
Oh, no.
Not that taboo. Not that kind of taboo.
Damn.
No, this comes from Cindy. She writes about getting into arguments with omnis, which she knows she probably shouldn't do. But she couldn't help it because they were talking about this group called Heifer International. And I don't know if you've all heard about this group, but basically you can donate money and they will send animals to, hungry people.
Sure. To
Livestock.
families that need them, quote unquote.
Yeah. So, they don't send vegetables, they send the animals.
And of course, if you argue against this because it's exploitation of animals, you're accused of being a person who hates people from the third world and wants to condemn everyone to poverty and starving, suffering, right?
Of course. So it's like sort of the taboo subject because she writes here, I know this organization is a liberal cause du jour, sustainable poverty reversal while validating meat eating, but as a vegan with the usual interests in animals, nutrition, and the environment, I have a bit of a problem with it. With the exception of a few animal groups like PETA, no one seems willing to utter a negative word. PETA actually doesn't even say much. Is heifer international off limits for criticism?
Oh, I would say hell no.
Not at the Vegan Freak headquarters.
Hell no.
Then again, we criticize a lot of things that people don't agree with.
We criticize everything, basically.
We do. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple ways to look at it. One way is, of course, that you can look at veganism as kind of a luxury in a sense, right? I mean, veganism is in a way born out of the ability to make a choice about what you have to eat. For some people, there's no choice; you eat what you must. On the other hand, why send a cow? Why not send technological assistance for more sustainable corn farming or something like that? Why not
just send bags of grain?
Or why not send food directly?
Yeah.
Why not send, I don't know, the kind of assistance that is needed to grow grain and things like that? I mean, I understand that there's protein deficiencies and things like that are maybe on the table, but it's still animal exploitation at the end of the day, and I don't see supporting it. I don't see why anyone would support it.
Plus, what I don't get is like, okay, do they send the live animal over and then, so what, the family has to both now feed themselves and the animal?
Well, they probably buy the animal there, but then they have to feed the animal.
Well,
they can't just kill it, right? Because that kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, right. I mean, I guess they could kill it right away, but I doubt they do.
Well, you couldn't. I mean, if you're a small, poor family somewhere, can you eat an entire cow?
No.
Hell no.
No.
So you probably use it for milk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, the other way to look at it is that an animal like that could probably be raised in a situation that isn't anywhere near as horrible as a situation that a factory farm cow is raised in. So,
True.
In that sense, the animal may actually be doing okay, but you can bet that at some point that animal is going to be slaughtered.
Mm-hmm.
And also, do we want to be funding solutions that directly rely upon animals and the exploitation of animals? And I don't know that it's the best thing to do. I think one could fund other solutions to the problem as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I see it as exploitation. I think there are bigger. I mean, to be honest, I think there are bigger causes to kind of go after. But
of course,
I wouldn't support Heifer International.
No, I mean, I wouldn't donate money to them. That's for sure.
Oh hell no! They won't get any of our cash.
No.
Who would you donate money to?
Farm sanctuaries.
I knew you were going to say that. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, we adopted a chicken.
Yeah, our chickens keep dying now.
I know. We have 2 of them now that died on us.
They keep giving us bum chickens.
Now we have a rooster, though, actually.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's a sad state of affairs when they're so sick. I mean, actually, the second one just sort of keeled over and died.
Just from age, though.
Yeah. And the first one got really sick. But
well, I mean, I kind of was making light of it. I didn't mean to do that. But no, it's true that a lot of these animals are so kind of worn out by the lives that they led in factory farms that their bodies just can't handle. They just get old and, they can't really... They're not made to live long. I mean, they're bred for short production lives. So, yeah, Heifer International, I don't have any kind of convincing, to get back to that, I don't have any kind of convincing anti-Heifer International arguments to throw out on the table. I mean, I think that there are probably better ways to go. I think you can feed a lot more people with grain than you can with meat. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know.
We just got to figure out new ways to distribute food better.
Well,
it's out there.
Distribution is the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, distribution is the problem, actually. This is one of my little pet peeves about vegans, to be honest. I always hear vegans out there go, well, if everybody in the world became vegan, we'd have plenty of food to feed everybody. And I think that's complete bullshit. If everybody in the world became vegan tomorrow, there would still be 900 million hungry people on the planet. And do you know why? It's because we have enough food right now, today. We have enough grain on the planet to feed every single person. But there is not the political and social will there to make sure that everybody gets fed. So even if everybody became vegan tomorrow, we'd still have more grain, but it would rot. And it would rot because we refuse to give grain away because we use food as a tool of political control. And we always have.
Yeah.
It's a tool of political and social control. So even if we became vegan, even if the whole planet veganized, it would do shit for hunger. Mm-hmm. So vegans, stop saying that. It makes Bob angry.
Yeah, the inequality is just ingrained so much right now in the world that there's people that still can't afford even grain.
That's right.
I mean, so they just can't get to the food. They can't afford the food.
Right now, in the European Union and in the United States, there is grain rotting, particularly in the European Union, though, because of the way in which they control prices. There is grain right now rotting in warehouses in the European Union. Rotting. Literally rotting. And in the United States too, because we hold on to it to help control price. So there's grain right now could be used to feed people, but instead we hold on to it to keep prices artificially either low or high, depending on how we want to make the market run. And we use food as part of our global control. So even if everybody became vegan tomorrow, there still wouldn't be enough. Well, there wouldn't be enough political will. I sound like what?
You sound like a social scientist.
Well, I am.
I know.
Sorry for the little lecture there. I'm going to stop lecturing. I just spent
You're in classroom mode.
I am in classroom mode. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'll get back to...
No, it's good. It's very educational. See, our show has to be educational, at least somewhat, right? We can't just go around saying, oh, fuck.
It can't just be me talking about eating tahini. And
peanut butter sandwiches. Yeah.
I don't know. Talk about the dog farts and all that stuff.
Yeah, the dog sleeping. Shh.
Yeah, the first rule of good dog is not talking about the dog.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I don't know. What else?
You got an email right there?
Oh, I have an email right in front of me that I'm a little too daft to pick up and read. Let's see, what's this say? All right. This one talks about... see, I didn't do the prep work.
Oh, okay.
I read it, but now I'm it's not jogging my memory.
Here, do you want the shorter one then?
No.
Okay.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'll catch up.
Okay, good.
I think I'll catch up. Here, you do that one.
Okay.
Do it, Jenna.
All right, this one's from Dana. She's talking about Thanksgiving. And she just really wanted to talk about how cool it was that she actually got her grandmother to go nearly vegan. I was just talking about how I could never possibly picture my grandmother going vegan. I think
you might be able to.
I don't know, maybe. She could probably use it for her health, too. I have, like, robotic grandma, because she's got, like, she's had her hip replaced. She's had both of her knees replaced.
She's mostly plastic.
Yeah, right. Anyway, Dana says, last year my family met at my grandmother's for Thanksgiving. I notified her that I was vegan and what I would not eat. I was not expecting her to go out of her way to prepare anything special for me. I had just planned not to really eat. Well, when I arrived, she had whispered in my ear that she'd made vegan meatballs as one of the dishes. We sat down and ate dinner, and I was thrilled. The meatballs rocked. Nobody knew that they were vegan, and everybody was eating them up. At the end of the dinner, she informed that they were indeed vegan, and everyone was shocked. They then realized that this was one of the reasons I was eating them. So a year has passed again as Thanksgiving, and is at my mom's place. I made all my own food, tofurkey, mashed potatoes, and veggies, and everyone was interested, and grandmother and sister wanted to try some. And everybody liked it and said it tasted even better than the turkey.
There you go.
So she says she never tells anyone that she could go vegan, that she's the type of person that leads by example.
That's the way to do it.
So my grandmother's in her late 70s and set in her ways, but she's been changing her eating habits ever since she found out that I was vegan.
That's cool shit, man.
Yeah.
It's nice to lead by example, though, to show that you're a happy vegan and work from there.
So, yeah, so she says even though their grandmother's not vegan, she thinks she exchanges recipes with her and talks about vegan food. And she says, I think this is a great example of how we can make a difference by leading by example.
Very cool.
That's such a cool story, and thanks for sharing that with us.
That is a lovely story, and I remember it quite clearly. Okay. But it was just, staring me down in 8-point font on this tiny piece of paper, and I was like, what the hell? Yeah, no, it's all good. I think that's a great story, and I think it's a good way to approach people. And the other thing, on our forums, it's recently come up, someone had posted and said that she had a shelf for her food, and the shelf for her food said, my cruelty-free stuff or something.
All I said was Sarah's vegan things.
Sarah's vegan things or something like that.
But yeah.
It was something that implied veganism, right? Mm-hmm. And one of her coworkers complained to Human Resources, and she had to take her sign down. The poor abused omnivore.
Because it was offensive.
Because it was offensive, right? It made someone realize and reconnect with the idea that, that thing that they're eating actually is that something is actually a someone. And I think that's absurd,
Yeah.
Completely absurd.
Yeah, meat eaters are certainly not in any minority situation here.
No way. But I think what it gets back to is the way to kind of lead, because I have these kinds of go out and spray paint their car, meat is murder on their car and slash their tires mentality. That's the way I tend to piss in the coffee pot and slash their tires is where I go.
I noticed you recommended that she piss in the coffee pot at least 3 times on that thread.
I was completely in love with that idea, pissing in the coffee pot. We don't have a coffee pot in my office, or I may have already pissed in it.
It's probably a really good thing.
And then Misanthropy on our forums recommended getting sick and going and licking all the silverware, which I really like that too. Yeah, and speaking of Misanthropy, we need to just do a quick shout out to her, because 2 of her non-human animal family members are coming out of the hospital. and had surgery, but they're both doing pretty well.
Good.
So we want to just say, we hope they're doing okay and all that. But to get back to it, what was coming up was some people should lead by example. You should turn the other cheek, perhaps, and to try to create a more kind of approach it in a more gentle way. And this is where Gary, who does animalwritings.com, right? Gary's suggestion was that you approach it from a different angle. Come in on the pleasant angle, start offering really good vegan food to people, and be kind of the non-confrontational, let it go vegan. And I think that's really more productive than spray painting, murder on somebody's car and slashing their tires and pissing in the coffee pot and licking all the silverware after you have some gastrointestinal disease. So, or you could stink palm someone.
You could always do that.
You should go look that up in Urban Dictionary if you don't know what it is. I don't need to tell you what that is on the air. Anyway, I think it's much better to lead by example to get back to this point that the email was raising. It's much better to lead by example. It's much better to kind of be the non-proselytizing, animal killer type vegan.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah. So just today, I had a little conversation with the secretary that works in my office about what I was eating for lunch.
There you go.
She said it smelled really good.
Wow.
We had Indian leftovers. Actually, they were all Dino leftovers.
I
had a Dino lunch.
Yeah, I did too.
We had made potatoes and chickpeas and spinach.
All recipes that are on our forums. To pimp our forums yet again. Let's move on to the next email.
Okay.
The next email says, this is from Christopher. It says, hey, you guys rock. I'm really curious what you feed your cat. I've been researching the hell out of vegan cats. I read Obligate Carnivore, and I say cat, and the cat walks in the room.
Wow.
Think of that. It's probably because we say cat, he gets all excited.
Cat.
Don't call him up on...
I know he's going to jump up on the
Don't get him up on the table. Because he'll come up here and lay on the table and mess up all the mixer knobs, and our volume will go crazy, and everything will fuck up. All right, anyway. He says, I've been researching the hell out of vegan cats. I read Obligate Carnivore, and I really, really, in capital letters, want vegan cats. But I've also read many reports... There's the cat again.
Trying to jump up on the table and missing.
Yeah, missing by quite a long shot. Let's get this on with you.
Okay.
Anyway, we have to work through this. Again, this sentence is going to be really great the 20th fucking time I read it. I love podcasting.
Read Obligate Carnivore.
Yeah, I already said that though.
Yeah.
I've read Obligate Carnivore and I really, really want vegan cats, but I've also read many reports of many cats suffering from urinary tract infections and sometimes even dying after switching to a vegan diet. I realize that this has a lot to do with water content in the food and the quantity of water ingested by cats, but it seems apparent that vegan cat food exacerbates all of this. Please enlighten me. Thanks, Christopher. And I'd like the PS. You should visit Asheville. We're not all New Age hippies.
Yeah, because Asheville's where Verato, the guy who ate the finger.
Yes, there were a lot of questions for Verato. So yeah.
Yeah. So actually, it is true that it can exacerbate.
It can indeed. I mean, this is what Obligate Carnivore talks about, and I don't know. I mean, I've heard that the quality on vegan cat food varies a lot too.
Yeah, there's been some reporting of problems with the consistency of the vegan
don't
cat
mention
food.
any particular brands.
I'm not. But because it's not substantiated, we don't know.
We have no evidence.
But it's funny because some cats do really, really well on vegan cat food.
We get a lot of people writing to us telling us that they do well on vegan cat food.
Yeah, and then some cats develop serious problems. And our cat, I think we've explained this before, but our cat has had urinary problems way before we became vegan. And way before we even considered making him vegan. So he's been on one food now for since then, and we're afraid to change it.
Well, the vet basically told us that we shouldn't.
Yeah, or he would have to have surgery, or he could die.
He could get form crystals in the urine again and have to have surgery. So I'm very hesitant to change it. But I think the problem is with male cats and not with female cats, right? Because female cats don't develop. Female cats don't. The blockages just go right out, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It is a male problem, and it's usually bigger cats too.
Ah, interesting.
I think.
Well,
usually, but not always.
Well, we're not vets, so who the hell knows? But I'm sure that even mentioning this will set off a flurry of comments. If you want to come to either the forum or you want to come to the podcast entry for this and leave a comment about your vegan cats, that'd be cool to help Christopher out, because there's vegan cat food out there, but I think some of the ways that you need to test are kind of complicated. Like, Obligate Carnivore, for example, recommends taking the pH of your cat's urine. Now, how the fuck do you do that? Have you ever seen cat piss? I mean, you see it, but it's clumped in the litter box.
You know, you just gotta get non-clumping litter or something.
But then the litter
I'll
changes.
have the kitty pee in the cup.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, I get a cup anywhere near the cat's dick and I'm dead.
Yeah.
Attack me, I'm so dead. No, but I mean, that you would think litter would change the pH of the urine.
Well, there are litters that you can buy that
filter
for
right
sick
through.
cats that it just collects in the corner or something.
See, that's smart.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. So, Christopher, I wish we had a better answer for you. But ultimately, I know a lot of people feed their cats and have fed their cats vegan food for a very long time, and the cats are doing very well. We don't have that experience. We haven't even tried. But I'm sure other people out there have, and they can maybe give you some advice on that.
Yeah, actually, one thing that some people do is mix it in with their other food, so you're only basically buying half non-vegan food, so you're not, it's still cutting back, so it's good.
Yeah, that's right. It is still cutting back. I think it's interesting. I think it's great to think about this too, because it's one of those ways that you're trying to eliminate really what is an incredibly oppressive system from all aspects of your life, and that's really admirable.
It is.
Drop the phone, it'll save you a tenner. Send an email to Bob and Jenna.
What else we got, woman?
That's it.
That's it?
I think so. I didn't print out all of them because we had a bunch, and I didn't know if we were going to have time. I think there's one complaining that we talked about dog farts too much.
Yeah, I know.
But, when the stench is that bad, you just can't help it.
It's gotten better.
It brings
though.
tears to your
He's
eyes.
cool.
Yeah, he hasn't done it at all this podcast. Shh.
Well, he hasn't done it all in like a couple weeks.
No, he hasn't.
He's been good.
He's been good. I don't know. He had something wrong with
He
him.
eats things in the woods. He goes in the woods and eats things.
He does.
I mean, I've seen him run along the trail and like pick something up and eat it, and before I can get it out of his mouth, it's gone. So who the hell knows what he eats? I try not to let him eat stuff, but
I know. He was on campus today, and some idiot student had thrown pizza crusts underneath one of the trees, and he, of course, ran over before. He didn't eat it. He managed to grab him away from him before he did.
He likes to eat gum off the sidewalk too. I see him do that every so often. Well, I try not to let him do it, but sometimes he just does it. He runs and does it.
Yep.
I mean, even if he's on a leash, he does it.
Yeah.
Is the cat working his way over here?
He's trying. He's on top of the bookshelf.
Oh boy, there's going to be a big crash soon. Because there are a lot of boxes over there.
And our cat's not exactly like the most graceful kitty on the planet.
He's a big cat. He's a big orange cat.
He
I mean, what
is.
can you do,
18 pounds of cat.
He's 18 pounds, a cat chunk. We love him, though.
We do.
So, I don't know. We don't have anything else this week, do we?
That's it.
We're really done.
We're done. And
Well
I don't
played.
think it's an hour and a half.
Oh, what?
It's not an hour and a half again, is it?
Right now, without the music, 48 minutes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's better.
So we'll be under an hour for a change. For a change.
Yeah, so I hope you didn't get tired of listening to Just Us this week.
No, I hope not. I mean, we're going to shake it up. We have Eric from Animal Friendly Life coming on soon.
Oh, that's right. We got a bunch of things lined up. We just got to do them.
Yeah, we do have to do them. We'll do them, though.
Oh, I know. It's just a matter of scheduling.
It is. Scheduling's never easy. The cat's... What's the cat doing? Oh, no.
He's trying to make his way through the piles of things on your desk.
Under my desk as well. I swear, we might as well just call this Have an Animal Interrupt the Podcast Every Time Podcast.
It's better than... We were trying to do this the other day, and he was sitting right underneath my microphone.
And
then
purring.
and purring.
And swiping at the mic.
I know. And then deciding that he has to rip off... We have this rug hanging on the wall. He decided he had to either try to climb it or rip it off the wall.
Yeah, he ripped it off, but then he laid on it.
And then he laid on
He
it.
pulled it off the wall and made a little Michi nest on the floor and laid in it. So, but, we love these guys. They're cool as hell.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
Yep.
I don't know. Anything else hot and happening out there?
Nope.
We want some voicemails next week, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
Where
we got to
you all
play our
been?
voicemail themes.
Really, we have voicemail themes. They're fresh, they're nice, and also we have we're supposed to next week, in addition to having Nell's segment, we're going to have, I think, a new show song, a new theme song for the entire show, custom written,
Sweet.
just for us.
That's so cool.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah.
This is courtesy of Rat and Cat over in the UK.
They rock.
Rat and Cat. So I think they're writing us a theme.
I can't wait to hear it.
I can't wait to have it on. It'll kick ass. So yeah, nothing else really going on here. No reason to keep rambling. We're gonna kill this thing.
All right, so thank you.
Well, we're not gonna kill it.
Because
That's
that
not
would be
very
vegan. We're going to stop it. I don't know. I'm just it's been a long day.
It has been a long day. It's been a very long day. And I'm tired of writing up plagiarism cases
Yeah,
at
me
school.
too. Both of us caught plagiarizers this week.
You know, if you're a college student, can I give you a word of advice as a professor? Just listen. Think about this as your personal time with Professor Bob. Let me give you a word of advice. If you're going to cheat, at least do it well enough so I can't catch you.
Yep.
Don't be a knucklehead. If you're going to cheat, do it well. If you're going to steal somebody's ideas, at least put them in your own words. Don't, for example, take the top 3 hits off of Google, copy a paragraph from out of each of the first 3, and make that the first page of your paper. Now, it's very easy to catch you that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think you should cheat. I think there's a certain, shabby nobility into failing on your own.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are going to cheat, at least do it well. At least put a little bit of intelligence into your cheating so that you aren't easily caught. So yeah, that's Bob's public service announcement to all college students out there. Please, if you're going to cheat, do it well.
Wise words from Bob.
All right, so voicemail. We want voicemail from you. You better get in touch with us. You should come to our forums. We're giving away stuff. There's a lot of fun over at the forums. We're having a good time. You should email us. You should get in touch with us. We love to hear from people. Sometimes we're a little slow in responding. We get there. One of us does.
Yeah. So we just got to thank you for listening and being vegan and freaky and being out there and
putting up with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're certainly saintly for that.
Definitely.
All right, everybody, you take it easy. See you next week, and we'll have a much more interesting show next week for you.
Bye.
Bye.
I say the smart thing to do is be just plain chicken. Yeah.